Hello friends, this is Cindy again. Welcome to Ideas Times 2. If you love junk journals, vintage ephemera, and creative inspiration, you are in the right place. Here we share tutorials, flip-throughs, and ideas to help you make journals that tell your unique story. So let's jump right in and start creating. So today I have a tutorial for a Christmas journal, a Christmas inspired journal, and this weirdly is my inspiration. So a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, I've been teaching a long time, probably longer than most of you have been alive. One of my students made this project, and I have kept it all of these years because I just love it, and it's a journal, and she bound it so that when you open it up, it looks like a butterfly. And her theme, her book, is about children in the Holocaust, and some of you may know that butterflies are kind of a symbol of that. And so the front she's done with broken glass, and she has this beautiful book that she made with homemade paper, kind of junk journaling before I certainly had ever heard of junk journaling. And this was a project she made in the 8th grade. She's now a lawyer and is married, has a stepdaughter and a new baby. And so I've been holding on to this a long time, and it is the inspiration for what we're doing today. So, and so are these seashells. I kind of want to make a journal, a bunch of journals that are inspired by what's inside. I want the binding to reflect what is inside the journal. So just like the butterfly reflects what's inside Devin's journal here. And eventually I'm going to get around to doing a seashell where the seashell is the cover. And so these were kind of my inspiration. So with Christmas coming up, one of the symbols of Christmas is, of course, a star. And so I've already started putting some stuff together. I've actually spent quite a bit of time this morning making, cutting things and making things to put inside this journal. And kind of going with a rustic Christmas theme. And what you're going to need are basically things you already have in your house. You don't need to buy anything special for this. Paper, and I'm doing this for Christmas. You don't have to do this for Christmas. It's not just Christmas, even though it is a star-shaped journal. You could certainly do this for any any holiday, any theme, or no theme at all. So I've already cut my paper and some cardboard box for my covers, my front and back cover, and you'll need some glue, some ribbon for the closure, and whatever you like to embellish with. That's really all you need. You don't need anything special for this journal. So let's get started. I'm going to move this off to the side a little bit, and we'll get the ball rolling on this project. So like I said, you will need some paper, and I've already cut mine right here. And this is going to be like a pop-up book. So I have 3 different sizes of paper, and the measurements that I am going with are 11 by 5.5, which is this one right here, 8.5 by 5 right here, and the smallest one is 7 by 4.5. So 11 by 5.5, 8.5 by 5, 7 by 4.5. And I can't remember how many. Let me leave that there. I can't remember how many I made. I think it was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I cut 7 of each size. You can have as many or as few as you want. Probably no smaller than 4. I think that would be hard to do smaller than 4. I think the biggest that I've seen, I was inspired by a picture I saw on Pinterest, and it was actually a bunch of pictures that were kind of, I guess, a tutorial, but there was no video or words. So I'm going by the pictures, and hopefully this will all work when we're done. So once you have your paper cut, you'll need to fold them, and you'll want to just fold them right in half. And I have some double-sided, obviously, some not double-sided, and it doesn't matter, but I'm folding towards the outside in here. The backs are not going to be seen, or at least not seen well, not seen clearly. And I am doing kind of a pattern and a solid and then another pattern. And have kind of, my colors are kind of red, black, white, and kind of this, and a gray, because my theme is rustic Christmas. You can do a lot of different things. So you'll want to fold all of your paper. Everything has to be folded, and folded right in half. And you do want to make sure they're folded as neatly as possible, with your edges being even, because when the book is open, if it's not even, it's not going to open, or it's not going to rest on the on your table evenly. So I know I'm just folding paper here, but hopefully I'm giving you enough tips. See, it looks like I cut this one a little off. I don't think it's going to matter with the two papers on the inside, but it will make a difference on the largest paper. When the book is closed, it's going to be 5.5 by 5.5 inches. It'll be square. When everything is, when the book is closed, when it's open, you'll see, hopefully it will all work the way it's supposed to. Like I said, I'm going by pictures and not by a tutorial, and that I have a little bit of a disadvantage, and I have not done see, this will be the finished size. Your inside papers will be the same size as the cover. A little bit of a disadvantage because I've not made this before, and I didn't make an exemplar. And today's a holiday, and for Veterans Day, so I'm not working. So I thought this would be a fun day to craft. The weather outside is, well, the sun is shining, sky is blue, but it is very windy and about 38 degrees outside. So not the nicest day for being out. So I thought it'd be a good day to craft, and even though we are still 6 weeks out from Christmas, I'm kind of in the mood because of the weather. And it's not snowing here. I know it snowed a lot of places across the U.S. Yesterday, across the Great Plains, and down into Indiana, Ohio. It snowed at my sister's house yesterday. I'm pretty sure my students were hoping. It did snow in Virginia, some places in Virginia, just not where I live. So you'll have your papers, and you'll want them to be coordinated. And so they'll be, you can see I'm going kind of this rustic. And at this point, I'm going to put these papers aside, because if you are going to do any embellishing, any decorating, you need to do it now on these smaller pieces, on the smallest piece. This is the one that is 7 by 4.5. If you try to finish the book and bind the book before you embellish, it's going to be very difficult. So what I have already done, like I said, I did a lot of stuff already, is I made a bunch of pockets and tuck spots and places to put things. And for the life of me, I don't remember what was supposed to go with what. Like, I had an idea in my mind of what was supposed to go with what, but I do not remember. So these are my pages right here. So I'm thinking these two were supposed to go on this page. And I've, as you can see, I have sewn around the edges, but that's just my personal preference. If you don't want to sew or don't have a sewing machine, don't feel obligated. And what I've done is just pretty light embellishing. As you can see, I just did a little border and a little, it says Joy and Jolly on there. And it is, you know, up to you how much you want to embellish. The original picture I saw of this idea did this as a like a picture album, and the so all they did was put like a colored a matte and then a white on top of it, and left it at that. There was no other embellishment, and that would be a lot of fun if you're looking for an easy gift for Christmas or Hanukkah, or, you know, stocking stuff for a teacher gift. This would be really a good idea. It's not difficult, not that time consuming, depending on how much embellishing you're going to do. So now I will put these all over to the side, and then let's make one of these together. One page. And so you're going to want to glue or use double-sided tape. I'm using glue. I'm using Fabri-Tac because that's my favorite, and that's what I always use. And I am putting glue only on the two sides. It might have been smart to do one side at a time. And then oops, I accidentally put that right on the bottom. I don't want it on the bottom. I'm making sure my folds are aligned. Yeah, I should have done this one. Glued one side at a time because I'm making a gluey mess. But that's one good thing with Fabri-Tac is that, okay. So it'll look like this. You see that? And I'm just want to make sure the folds are aligned. And so it's about a ½ inch on each side. Should be about perfect. And I'm a little off on this side, it looks like. I'm not making this for as a gift. I'm probably going to put it in the shop if I do a good job. Yeah, I think that's going to be cute. And then do the same thing with, if I can open this, the large piece. And this time I am going to just put glue on one side, make sure that I've got it even. And there's a much bigger differential on this side, on the side, these two sizes. If you want a wider border on the end, that would be fine, because it'll look like that. If you want it to be a little wider, you just glue in a slightly different spot. So I'll put just a bead of glue down the side, and because I have a little bit of glue I need to clean up off of there. Let me grab a glue eraser. Yeah, this is going to be super cute. And then I'll be able to put stuff in the pockets, but you can see if you try to do the embellishing after, it'll be a little harder, especially if you have the entire book finished. So I'm going to do one more on camera, and let's see. Let's do, this is actually a double pocket, and you can see I've got a pocket here and then the pocket here, and I'm going to put a bead of glue around the pocket. I need to open a new bottle of glue. This one is starting to get a little gloopy. I don't know if that's the technical term, but it's the one that works for me today. Still plenty in there, but it's kind of messy. And I haven't made anything to go in these pockets yet. Some of the pockets I've made stuff to go in, but I've not made anything to go inside of these yet. So then my neutral, paper is, I have so much Christmas paper I can't even tell you where all I got it, but most of this was from a pack I got at after Christmas sale a couple of years ago at Michael's. And it really wasn't a Christmas pack, but it was more a winter, kind of a cabin, wintry cabin kind of feel. And I combined it with some Christmas and kind of to go with my rustic Christmas theme. So I got a little bit of glue there. It's almost like making cards, like we're making cards here. Make sure my center folds are aligned, and these look good, except for the gluey mess that I made. I don't know, it would not be one of my projects if I didn't make a mess. Ah, that wind out there is crazy today. It's a little colder. We had rain yesterday. If it was a little colder, we would have had an icy mess this morning. So there's our second. And the reason I'm doing two with you, so you can kind of see what to do next, and then I will turn off the camera and we will finish the binding together. So make sure my trees are going the right direction. They are not upside down. So this goes a little bit closer, maybe to a 1/2 inch from the edge. So nice. These are going to be nice. When I'm done with all of them, we're going to glue these together. And you can see there's 2 points in my star already. So I will be back after I finish gluing all the stuff together, and then we will finish it up together, finish up the binding and the closure. So hang tight and I will be back in a few. Okay, I'm almost done. And when I was doing the third one, I came up with a technique I like better for this whole gluing business. So not quite as messy and a lot quicker. So I'm going to put a bead of glue from my new glue bottle on both sides, just running along the short edge, and grab my second piece, and I'm going to just drop it down right where I want it. Fabri-Tac gives you a little bit of time, actually a decent amount of time, to get it where you want it. I'm going to fold this over and then fold it over, and it'll be perfect. At least judging by the other ones that I've done, and now doing it this way, it will allow me to press down on both sides a little easier. And then I can do this same thing, a little seepage here. Which I want to get before it's taking the ink off my paper. And I did ink all my edges because I'm going with this rustic Christmas theme. I inked everything and sewed everything. But if you're going for a more contemporary look, a more contemporary Christmas, or not doing Christmas at all, you know, the sewing and the inking is not necessarily something you need to do. Save yourself a little bit of time. And so technically this journal, the one I'm doing, has just 7 pages. Or 14 when you know, if you think about doing 2 sides. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to align it where I want it to go. About 1/2 inch from the edge. Fold it over, press it down. And there we have our page. This one, I'm going to flip them this way. So I now have all my pages done. And so you can see I have basically one of everything. I have an envelope, I have a side tuck, two pockets, etc. So now is kind of the binding. And so I've put my pages in the order that I want them. And it doesn't matter really which is the front, but I have them, the way order I put mine in is that I just didn't want like the 2 planks next to 2 trees next to, you know, etc. And I'm going to just glue them together. You can use double-sided tape if you want. Glue stick. And I'm going not right at the edge because I know I'm going to have some seepage here, but on the folded edge, I'm leaving about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. I don't want the glue to go all the way to the end because it will make it if it's too close to the end, you can see it's going to alligator mouth, and I want it to allow for movement, so I am leaving that that bit at the end. And I'm going to put all of the pages together. Whoops, I got a little too much glue there. And you just want to make sure that I need to make sure that I have everything going the right direction, that up is up. Because these are upside down. And I literally did not buy anything for this project. I love paper so much, I have a tendency to buy all the paper, and I have so much Christmas paper, and I don't make a lot of Christmas journals. They don't necessarily sell very well in the shop, or as well as some other themes, I guess. And so I don't like making stuff and having it sit in the shop for forever. So there's our first 4. You can see there is, I am going to put a ribbon around here so I don't want things to pop, but at the same time I want to make sure that everything is, that spine is not too tight. almost done here. Facing up. And I keep tapping on the table because I want to make sure the bottom is really even, because it's going to stand up. I hope everybody is doing well, staying healthy. You know, winter is about here in Virginia, although one never knows with the weather around here. We don't often get very cold or snowy weather, so quite frankly, it could be 90 degrees tomorrow and nobody would be too shocked. So I'm a little paranoid about accidentally putting a page in upside down, because since everything is already embellished. I still might add, I still need to add stuff in the pockets, so I'll be adding some charms and things like that, but for the most part, the insides are done. Okay, so there's our 7 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and when it's open and sitting on your table, it will look like a Christmas star. So this is what you want it to look like. If you went with fewer, you'll still get a 6-pointed star. If you went 2 less, you'd still get a 5-pointed star. So it depends on how many points that you want. And so this is my front, and all of the pages on the inside. Everything is Christmas, winter, a little rustic, and I think it's going to be super cute when it's finished. So now we have covers, and you can see I used a pancake mix. I've had this box for a long time because I quit eating gluten almost a year ago. So I've had pancakes once. There's one restaurant not too far from me that has gluten-free pancakes, but IHOP says they have gluten-free pancakes, but I think they're gluten-free friendly, not actually gluten-free. And I found out, luckily not the hard way, but I forgot the ribbon. I'm going to put the ribbon under, and I did not measure, but I'm leaving a fairly long tail to tie. I'm just eyeballing this. You can probably see better than I can if that is equidistant from the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to put this on top. And I did quite a few layers on here, but whoops, they are all glued together, and I just sewed the one in the middle. Added a couple of embellishments, but nothing too too thick. I didn't want any of my pages to be overly embellished, simply because the book is, ideally you want the book to stand up, right? And to do that, you don't want the pages to be so heavy that it, you know, tips over. And I know there are better ways to do this, and I have done them in better ways, but and now I'm going to glue the back. I think I did the front cover wrong. And well, I haven't glued the front cover down. I think it's okay. So I'm gonna have to press this, I think, under something heavy to make sure all those pages dry. And then I'm just going to, I took another piece of, so for the front cover and the back cover, it was just a piece of 5.5 by 5.5. I forgot about the measurements to let you know what those were. And even though it's just one layer, I sewed around the edges. And added just a little embellishment there. And now the front, I'm going to glue down to the back of the first page. So the book will be square. One nice thing about this project is that you can make it whatever size you want. And I went with this measurement simply because I was using 12 by 12 paper. And it allowed me kind of to get the most use out of the paper. Okay. Make sure everything is glued down well. And all right. So normally I would be letting this dry quite a bit longer, but for the sake of the video, when it's done, it'll look like this. And then you can tie it. I made pages all the way around. If you leave one side blank, you could close it like this and then tie it tight. That is an option. And like I said, if you wanted a smaller star, just do fewer pages. I did 7 and the cover, and I do need to leave it alone for a little bit, let the glue dry. I don't want things sliding around. Give it a nice tap on the table, and I think we're good. I'm pretty pleased with the way this turned out. So to trim this thread. There we go. So this is the first in a series. I have some ideas for other bindings that give you a clue as to what's inside. I hope you like this project. Give it a try. If you do, you can post pictures on our Facebook page and share with us. We'd appreciate that. If you are, especially if you're doing other themes than Christmas, I'd love to see what you make. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I appreciate your time and value your time. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more crafty goodness. Keep creating, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody.